Hey folks, today I wanted to tell you about this. If you've been watching my Twitch channel at all, and I've talked about anime and manga and stuff in like favorites videos for the last maybe year or so, I think, I've accumulated some things and I've talked about some things. But today I wanted to do just a devoted video to showing you my little anime, manga nerd shelf, my hobby shelf of the things that I have found hobbies with in the last few years. It's interesting kind of finding new hobbies that you really get into really quickly. I realize that this is a thing that I do where it's like I find a thing that I just get really excited about and then I just go in on that for a few years and maybe a little bit longer than a few years, but this is kind of my newest obsessions along with The Sims. I just wanted to go through my little manga shelf and show you my figures. Some of them are gifts, some of them I bought for myself. I would say it's maybe equal parts self-purchased and gifted from Josh. No one else in my family has gifted me anything because they don't quite understand it. Every time I've told my sister or my mom about a new anime we're watching, they're like, didn't you used to make fun of your friends in middle school? I'm like, I was 13, okay? That was literally 21 years ago. I am not holding that against me from being when I was 13. Okay, but before we actually jump into each shelf and showing you all the details, I would like to say that today's video is sponsored once again by Warby Parker. Warby Parker is a glasses brand that specializes in glasses and sunglasses. They got eye exams, you can get contacts, but the thing that I really love about Warby Parker is that they have their 5 at-home try-on program. I have done this dozens of times. I have tried so many pairs of glasses from them, but basically you go to their website, you can fill out a quiz that helps you pick styles and colors and shapes if you're not sure, and then you pick 5 pairs for you to get sent to your home, and they send you a return label that's totally free. All of it's free. You don't have to pay for shipping, and you don't actually have to purchase a pair of glasses by the end of it, which is also wonderful. You get them home, you get to try them on in the comfort of your own home or at your desk in front of your camera where you can film yourself and see what they look like on camera. You know, like most people would. And then you can choose from those sets, or you can choose another set of 5 if you want to purchase any. I have regular prescription glasses, blue light glasses, these are transition lenses, and there's sunglasses as well. And glasses start at just $95. So if you are like me and you don't like being around people all the time and you just like being able to shop in the comfort of your own home and try things on in the comfort of your own home, definitely check out Warby Parker. The 5 that I got this time, I enjoyed trying on. And I have 5 pairs of glasses myself, I think. That's including my sunglasses. I have lots of pairs of glasses. I actually need to go get a new eye exam, which you can do at many of the Warby Parker locations, which you can find listed on their website. So if any of this sounds awesome to you, which I'm sure it does, because I've had people ask me for years, Abby, what glasses are you wearing? Where'd you get them? Warby Parker for almost 10 years. So if this sounds great to you and you would like to try 5 free at-home try-ons today, go to warbyparker.com/ABBY. That's warbyparker.com/Abby. That's my name. Thanks again to Warby Parker for sponsoring today's video. Back to my shelf of fun hobby things. So last year, Josh and I went and bought a set of shelves at Target to keep in our office / gaming / basement. And I have filled these up pretty quickly because both of us like collecting things. Both of us like trinkets. We are both, I would say, maximalist in terms of the way we like to live our life and the way we like to decorate. I have 2 swords in the corner. You can't really see. They're behind my head. The way I've kind of organized them, we literally cleaned this earlier. We literally reorganized this because it was very dusty. There was a spider behind it. I just needed to put things in their correct place. Up here we have the first 4 editions of Horimiya, and I've talked about Horimiya so many times on this channel. Oh my god, it's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite slice of life, romance, comedy. It's not technically a shoujo, but it feels more like a shoujo to me. I have the first 4 of that, and then in a similar kind of theme, I have the first 6 of Wotakoi, and Wotakoi is actually, I don't remember where you can watch it now, but it's a shojosei romance, workplace romance about grown-ups and it's so cute, and I love it so much. It stands for Wotakoi, Love is Hard for Otaku, so it's about a bunch of nerds falling in love who work together in an office, and it's adorable. I do not have corresponding figures there. That is Rin Okumura from Blue Exorcist. Right next to them. Josh found me that figure, and it was the coolest gift to open up because Blue Exorcist is, like I've mentioned many times before, one of my favorite anime, and I'm so excited that we're getting a new season this year. I'm so excited. Their figures are all kind of older. They're all usually secondhand or just from like overstock from like sites a long time ago, because they don't really make any new figures of an anime that they weren't really making any new episodes since 2017. So, and then I have Kuro next to him. He's just a little pet kitty cat. Reno Kumra, one of my favorites. I have the poster up there. I was like, I don't have a poster back here of Blue Exorcist. Next, Death Note. Death Note is one of the first anime we watched after like Initial D, Blue Exorcist, Sword Art Online. But Death Note is definitely the kind of outlier in all of these on the shelf. But I love it. It's so like over the top in the best way. I literally have a Death Note hoodie on the other side of the room, but I very much enjoyed it. I have L right next to the manga. I have the black edition, which I love the style of. I love it. It's so cool. Look at it. Oh, it's so pretty. This one contains volume 1 and 2, so they're an omnibus. It's bigger than the regular manga. This is L. I also had this sitting on the shelf. This has nothing to do with anime, but it's like a little crystal fairy that I got from Punk Rock Flea Market, I think, last year. Was it the Punk Rock Flea Market? It was the Punk Rock Flea Market. But it's like a little crystal diorama with a fairy. I thought that's really cute. It has nothing to do with anime, but it's living on the shelf anyway. And then that's a little cardboard cutout of Yuji Itadori. From Jujutsu Kaisen. Next shelf. This is the shelf that I didn't intend on making it the shelf for the LGBTQ manga, but that's where we are. So we have Given, which is kind of the star in the front here. The main two characters, Ritsuka and Mafuyu. Romance series, Given. It's about a band of a bunch of boys, and boys falling in love, and it's adorable. It's so sweet. And then I have Sasaki to Miyano. I have the first 2 of that one, and that there's only like 1 season of it, so there's not a lot to watch, but I really, really enjoyed it too. Again, it's about love and boys, and it's adorable, and there's a movie that we have yet to watch, but it's very cute. It's very sweet. And in the anime, Sasuke is one of my favorite voice actors, who also plays Overhaul in My Hero Academia. I love him. He's really cool. And then the one in the middle is, I think, the only isekai I have. Yeah? No, I have 2 isekais. This one is The Magical Revolution of the Reincarnated Princess and the Genius Young Lady. I had to remember because it's a really, really long title. Because if you know anything about isekai, they just have the longest and most ridiculous titles in English. They sound way cooler in Japanese. In English, the titles sound hilarious. But, that's a girl love story, and it's really cute. It's really sweet. I like shonen battle anime and then like sweet shoujo stuff, so, you know, range, okay? Next down here is just a collection of things. None of them go with each other. These just all fit on one shelf. But in the front, we have some My Hero Academia stuff. I actually have a figure of Aizawa, the teacher who I dressed up as, cosplayed as, at Comic-Con. I love Aizawa. He's one of my favorite characters. Love him. I actually bought this at Comic-Con. And then I have a couple of these kind of painted guys that Josh got me that are very cool. We got Kirishima and Aizawa. And Kirishima has sparkles in his hair. But the books, the manga behind it, which have nothing to do with My Hero Academia. I do not have any of the My Hero manga. I don't intend on getting them. 1, because there's too many of them. And 2, I like the show. I like the experience of watching it on TV, you know? But on that shelf, we have the other isekai in my collection. This is the 4th one. Why Raeliana Ended Up at the Duke's Mansion. Literally, I think my favorite shoujo. It's actually based on a webtoon. This, when it was printed, it's in full color. Holy moly. Isn't, oh, it's so pretty. Aren't they pretty? If you love fake marriage, enemies to lovers, regency, trying to think of other things that I could refer to this as. And it's an isekai. So it's an isekai based on like she gets isekai'd into a novel and she becomes much more of a prominent character in the real life version of it than the novel version. Hence why Raeliana ended up at the Duke's mansion, because she wasn't supposed to. And I love it. I love it so much. I love it so much. And also Ian Sinclair does the English dub for Noah, and I love that voice actor. He's amazing. He's one of my favorites. Next we have Spy Family, which I will talk far more later when we get to the actual figures, because I have 3 of those. But I have 2 volumes of Spy Family. Those ones are kind of continuously sold out, I feel like, whenever we go to Barnes & Noble. Or at least they were for a while. I like Spy Family. I don't know how much of it I will collect, just because I like the humor and the comedy of it on screen, so I actually haven't read those ones yet, but I'm excited too. Josh got them for me. Next to that, we have one of my favorites. I love it so much. Snow White with the red hair. This has nothing to do with Disney's Snow White, Disney Princess. The main character, Shirayuki, the girl with the red hair, it's a love story. It's like set in medieval type era vibe. Like there's not technology, and she was courted by a prince. I love it. It's very cute. I love her as a main character. She's like an herbologist and does wonderful things with plants, and she stands her ground, and she's adorable, and I love them. I have 11, 12, and 13 of the physical manga. I have some of the earlier volumes on digital, which I downloaded after the series ended because the series never finished the manga. The anime stopped at a certain point, and so I bought the digital versions of the manga from where the anime left off. So I wish that we would get more of it, but I don't know if we ever will, and I'm sad about it. I have 3 of those. This one, I believe we bought after Christmas last year, and my parents got us a Barnes & Noble gift card, and there was like a little bit left on one, and I wanted to pick out one that I hadn't seen in anything before, more just on a whim, and it's like, oh, a love story, a girl with a camera, it's about photography? Okay, I have yet to read it. I'm excited to. A sweet and charming romance about a girl finding her way. That doesn't really say much, but it's about a photographer, and I appreciate it. Called Love in Focus. And then the last 2 series I have on that shelf, I have 3 of My Happy Marriage. This was another one that Josh got for me on a whim when he went to Barnes & Noble one day. And I'm talking about when you got me My Happy Marriage, that you bought me on a whim one day. It was like I was at home, and you're like, I got you something. And I was like, what did you get me? He got me 3 volumes of My Happy Marriage, which we haven't finished on Netflix yet, but I very much enjoy it. It's really good. It can get really sad at times, but it's really lovely. The main male character is voiced by Damien Hawes, who is a streamer and YouTube personality, which was very cool to hear. Freaking anime, and I was like, I know that voice. What? Love it. So good. And then I have 2 omnibus of Fruits Basket, which I don't think are all of them. I just don't think I ever bought the other ones. And so I didn't have the same sort of history with Fruits Basket when they aired the newer version of the anime, but watching that being the only one that I'd seen, knowing that there was history with people, it made me so excited for the people who did get to experience it 20 years ago, and then like the reboot. And it's such a beautiful series. It's so dark. Like, it's so sad at times. Like, I cried several times, and it's heavy. It's about family trauma, but it's really, really well done, and the art is beautiful. It's very nostalgic because it's very old school, because it's from like a different time. Aizawa, get back there, buddy. And then the next shelf with Asta front and center. This was actually painted by, I think it was sent to me by a subscriber. When I still had my P.O. box, it was sent to me by a subscriber, and she had like an Etsy store. If I find a link to it, I'll link it below. I don't remember what it was, and I'm not seeing anything on here, but very cool. It's my boy Asta from Black Clover, which I have 4 of the manga. I do not have all of them. I do not have that many of them, but I have 4 of those, and I love Black Clover. It's one of my favorites. Definitely one of the series that I connected with for not any reason that like I could relate to many of the characters because it's a completely different world with magic, but I could relate, you know, imposter syndrome. It's a universal experience. Black Clover just will always have a place in my heart, as well as Blue Exorcist, which I mentioned here with my little Rin figure, but I have 1 through 11. That's the one that I have the most of. And this was one where it was like, I think it was 4 and 5 were so difficult to get my hands on and so hard to find that when I did, I was so excited. I was so excited when I found editions 4 and 5 because those were like never in stock. And I really, really hope that with the reinvigoration of the series that they're able to print more and like keep more editions in print and like keep making more because it's so good. And I'm missing out on so much story. The fact that there was so much more written in this manga after the anime finished, just... And then the last shelf we have that's full of manga is more romance. More romance. Some are more josei, and some are more shoujo. This was another shopping spree that Josh went on. I have 1 through 7 of Skip and Loafer, and that was one that we really, really enjoyed last season. And it's very cute. It's very wholesome. It's just so sweet and comforting, but also like not too sweet, you know? It's slow paced. It's definitely slow paced. So if you're somebody that likes more like fast stuff, you might get bored, but it's really sweet. It's really warm, and the characters are all really like complex and like full, like 3-dimensional. I appreciate it. So I have 1 through 7 of that. And then I have 1 through 6 and 10 and 11 of Sweat and Soap. It's like a little spicy. It's the spiciest one I have on the shelf. I will say it's the spiciest one I have on the shelf. But this was one that I heard from my YouTube colleague. I'm going to call her my YouTube colleague because we've been making content adjacent to each other for like a decade. Laura. She got known as the Sweat and Soap girl on TikTok because like that was like, she made so much content about that series. And I was like, okay, let me read this. And so I read digital versions of like the first 9 editions because I was just like so into it and I got so invested in the characters. And then when I finally like saw that when they were printing more, and I was like, oh, I can buy 10 and 11. And so I bought 10 and 11, and then like maybe like 6 months ago or something, we were at Barnes & Noble and they had a box set of the first 6, and I was like, oh my god, I should get this. It's a better deal, and also I want all of them because having the last 2 feels like I'm not a completionist with a lot of things. Like, you've seen me with makeup. I am not a completionist with makeup. But when it comes to, like, books and things and stuff, I do feel a little bit like a completionist when it comes to this, you know? I don't know. It's such a nice place back here. I love this basement. This little basement corner, even though there were some spiders, I love being down here now. But yeah, Sweat and Soap is another adult workplace romance. It's really hard to describe it in a way that, like... without going into like great detail of like the character dynamics. I'll just link you guys to all of the pages, all of the like websites about them, because I do think that there's something for everyone back here. I'm just like, I have something for everybody. Okay. On the bottom shelf I have a candle, a Sims plumb bob Josh bought me for Christmas.
Cut to a clip.
Cut to a clip if I can find it. The battery died, so I can't really turn it on. And then I have empty shelf. I didn't really want to put books or makeup down there because it's on the floor. So I feel like maybe I'll put like a basket down there to keep things off the floor because I don't really want bugs crawling around on everything. And then this is just a random selection of eyeshadow palettes that I use when I do my Twitch streams. Just like, which palettes is Abigail using the most lately? One of those. I also got this at the punk rock flea market. It's a little squishy guy. Now we can discuss the top here. Technically, I think the first figure I ever got was Gojo. He's back there, but I don't want to move him because he's in a kind of precarious place. So I'm going to go from right to left because it's easier that way. Maureen Kitagawa from My Dress Up Darling, and which is another, I think technically it's also a shonen, but I like it. It's cute, it's sweet, and I like the characters, and the character design is adorable. So we'll just go straight into My Hero. I love My Hero Academia. I stayed away from My Hero Academia for the longest time because the fandom on the internet is kind of a lot, and I would get mad when people would talk crap about Black Clover in regards to My Hero. They're like, oh, Black Clover is just a My Hero ripoff, and I would get pissed off. And so I didn't want to watch My Hero. And then Lacey told me, was like, Abby, you need to watch this so I could have somebody to talk to about it. And I was like, okay, fine. So I did, and I fell in love with the show. These ones, I don't remember. We saw them at like an anime shop at the mall, but then Josh found the same figures online for cheaper because there's always like markups when you buy it from inside a store. So I don't remember which store he bought these ones from, but these all match. Oh, these ones were from Tokyo Otaku Mode. And then we have Shoto, who is my favorite. I love Shoto. He's my favorite character. We got Bakugo with all of his spiky hair. He's so spiky. Josh was taking a brush to it earlier. Because we have so many anime figures now, I had this brush that I got from a PR package that I never used, and I was like, I could just use it. He uses it to dust off his figures, and I do too. And it's really useful for it, actually. More useful than using it on my face. I'll say that much. And then he's actually standing on a little wall shelf that I meant to put up on the wall, but I never did, made out of, I think it's corn? I think it's corn plastic. Yeah. I don't want to lift up all the big guys, because they're big and they're in seats, or like, there's sharp edges. I have several Jujutsu Kaisen characters. I have these little guys that are so small. They're so tiny. They're so small. That was Itadori. I have Nobara Kugisaki, who I love. She is amazing, and I wish there was more of her in this season, but, you know, it's fine. And then we have Megumi, Megumi is the only kind of main... Megumi and Nobara are the only main characters, well, at least main characters from, like, the first season, that I don't have any figures of, so I'm missing Megumi and Nanami. But the last three of those ones, the first two I actually got at the same time. I ordered Gojo and Sukuna, and I waited for a very long time. They were pre-orders. I wanted to splurge. I wanted to treat myself. The Gojo one, I remember it wasn't long after I'd watched the series, and I just got so invested. And there were like 3 Gojo figures that came out around the same time, and I remember liking this one the most. And then they also had the Sukuna one at the same time, which also had a couple other figures of him from different websites, and these two I both got from Crunchyroll. And then I think like a year later, Josh got me the Itadori one, the Black Flash, which also I don't think was from the same line. I don't remember if they were from the same line, but they were both from that one was also from Crunchyroll. Oh, and then these 3 are also Crunchyroll. Spy Family, right?
No.
Those are Tokyo Otaku Mode?
Those are Ami Ami.
Oh, those are Ami Ami. Yeah, we have Spy Family. We have Anya.
The majority of what I buy is typically pre-orders through Ami Ami.
Yeah, I know, we get the boxes. But I have the entire trio from Spy Family, Anya, Yor, and Lloyd, which, if you haven't heard about Spy Family, it's a sitcom, I would say, almost. It's like a rom-com, but it's also like elements of like action adventure, but there's elements of espionage, spy, there's elements of shoujo, there's elements of family hijinks. Lloyd is a spy, Yor is an assassin, and Anya is a telepath. None of them, Anya knows that her adopted parents are a spy and an assassin, but they don't know that the other one is what they are, and they don't know that she knows everything. He needed to have a fake family for like a spy mission, and she needed to have a fake family so she didn't look suspicious, and it's just so silly. It's so fun, and it's very sweet. It's definitely one of those anime that if I were to ever sit my mother down and be like, Mom, you need to watch something with your daughter, I would have her watch this one, because I think she would actually enjoy it. And it would take her a bit to understand animation, because that's literally what Mother calls it. She's like, you're into that animation stuff. I'm like, Mom, it's called anime. It's not animation, Mom. That was so funny when she said that. I'll show you my swords. There's too many posters. There's too many posters to go through, and they're all in various weird places, and I'll probably have another We Are Scientists poster after this weekend. I have 2 swords from Blue Exorcist. This one is Shura Kirigakure's sword. Was this the first one? No, this was the second one you got me. And we don't have a cool sheath for this one. The sheath that it came with is kind of
It's just
plastic and cheap.
yeah.
But it's purple and it's green and it's very cool and I love her. And then I also have Rin Okumura's Koma sword, who is the main character from Blue Exorcist. These were both gifts from Josh. What did you say in the video? It was like, what does every good bisexual need?
Every bisexual needs. What is the one thing that every bisexual needs?
A sword. So I have 2 now. So I can dual wield. How much melee damage could I do?
Well, that would need to be out of it.
Well, I know. I think that's everything. Oh, I forgot. I have the little Sailor Moon. She's so cute. I do want more Sailor Moon characters. Well, that's everything. As far as everything that has a place, a specific place. Let me know if you have any like specific questions about any of the particular manga, or if you want to know like where Josh or I got one of the figures, because there were a lot of different places where we got stuff, and we both are big collectors of things, and it's been really, really fun to have this nice little fun nerd space down here, because it's very cozy now. For today's song of the day, Cobra, the Spirit Box remix by Megan Thee Stallion, and ooh, it's so good. It's like a mixture of hip hop and metal, and I love it. And it's so kind of nostalgic in a way, but it's really, really good. The original song, like the original Cobra track, so good, but like the metal remix, blasting it in my car consistently. I've listened to it so many times, and it's really, really good. But if you would like to follow me on any of my other social media, my Instagram and my Twitter are both Abers07, and then my TikTok and my Twitch are Abers without the 07. Thanks again to Warby Parker for sponsoring today's video. Definitely go check the link down below, warbyparker.com/Abby. It always helps me out when you guys check out my sponsors. It really, really does. I hope you guys have a good rest of your week, and I will see you all in my next video.